Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 6th of November, right? First of all, thank you so much to those that have sent me donations toward my car. It is a great help, and some of you really sent generous amounts. I have been able to put down a down payment for the car. The car will not be ready for another couple of weeks or so, and we're still looking at other finance. We're winging it at the moment, but I think we're getting there. So thank you so much for your help. It really made a difference. You know, I'm a step further to where I need to be, and if you heard the noises coming out of the front of my car, you would know the desperation I'm in at the moment. But great, thank you so much. Right. Okay, I don't actually know what to title this at the moment. It will come to me later. But I've started reading a book, and it is called Not in His Name. Yeah? And it is really speaking about getting out of religion and going back to, let's say, the Gnostic way of thinking, Hermetic way of thinking. There was a time of enlightenment, you know, where people got real knowledge. And what is it they got knowledge of? Of the Creator, of that field in which we all have our being. Yeah? Because that was their goal. And it was not going the way of quantum physics. You know, it was more through the experience of life and knowing that which is around them. Yeah, they didn't go far out looking for him. They knew he was within them and all around them. Everything is Creator. Yeah, and that nothing that is created can exist independent of that which is creating it. So you can see the Creator in the created. Yeah, that is the way they went, and we must go back to that. Yeah, instead of looking out there for being so much greater than us, or worse, for a savior that will come and take us out of this, because that really leads you to a point where you are sitting on your backside, you're allowing all these things to happen, you're not seeking a solution yourself, you are not seeking the Creator, yeah, for yourself. You're just sitting there waiting for something to come and save you. And that is actually the worst teaching that is around, because it really prevents people from even seeking the knowledge. And if you do not seek the knowledge, you will not find the answers. You know, seek and you will be given. If you sit on your backside doing nothing, you'll not receive. Yeah, I was in a conversation with somebody, and they asked me, you know, whether I fast. He didn't ask me whether I meditate, well, or whether I take drugs, psychedelic drugs. No, I don't. Hell no. So I do not fast, absolutely not. I should. I have to go to a wedding next week, and I'm still not fitting into that dress. Okay, I should fast a little bit. But, no, I don't. I do not take drugs. Coffee and nicotine is as bad as it gets, for the most part, you know. I haven't drank alcohol in over 10 years. So what do I do? And this is just, I do not put down the analytic mind, the ego. I don't at all. Because for me, the ego is the seeker. It is that which asks the questions. Life in this world is what provides the questions, so to speak. It throws up questions all the time. Yeah. So yeah, I ask the questions. Now, where do I get the answers? Usually during my sleep, during the night. Yeah. And I keep bringing up the German fairy tale of the shoemakers of Cologne. So what they did is they cut the pieces of leather all day long for shoes, but they did not assemble them. They left them on the workbench, and then during the night the little people came and assembled the pieces into beautiful pairs of shoes. And that is pretty much what's happening to me. Yeah? And then it comes to meditation. To me, a natural rhythm, and that is the rhythm between seeker and the stillness that gives the answer. Yeah? So I mean, it's true enough, the ego has to step out of the way. Yeah, it has to be still in order to receive the answer. As long as it keeps rabbiting, it can't hear. Yeah, you either rabbit or you hear. You know, so yes, it has to step out of the sight, but it's not a case of it has to go away, because then you have nothing that is asking the questions. Yeah? So what answer shall be given if there's no questions there? So to me that is a natural rhythm that is already existing in this world, the rhythm between movement and sleep at night. And I don't know why we should do anything else more than that, to be quite honest. If that is what was given, maybe that is what we should go with, instead of devising ways of ourselves to enhance what is happening. See, I think we don't get more by doing that. I think we get less. Yeah? If you go through drugs or through excessive fasting, and they tell you they go to a place where it's all stillness and it's all great, but then that is a place of not knowing. In that stillness are all possibilities, and you know none of them. So you do not know him. You don't know what is contained in him. So in life, you are getting knowledge of the possibilities. Do you know it all? No, absolutely not. But here, this is where it gets me to. I want to read a bit of the Nakamadi, because it really shows the way the Gnostics thought. Yeah? That is what we need to get back to. So we know what it is we're doing. We're having a goal. We're asking questions about something. Yeah, we're not in the wilderness of all not knowing what we're doing or where we're going. We need a goal, something that we want to know, something that we want, and the knowledge will be the experience of it. That is the highest form of knowledge. So, and this is from the Gospel of Truth. And here is ignorance brings error. Yeah, that is really what the Gnostics thought, and what we really must get into our heads again. That we are actually in ignorance. Yeah? We are not all. We are not all there ever was and ever will be. We are far from enlightened. And unless we accept that truth that is shown to us here in this world, it's shown us our truth. Yeah, accept it. We are prats. Yeah, we are gods in that we can do more. But we are probably the dumbest gods on the block. And I really think we should accept that fact. And once we have accepted that, we have a foundation from which we can go and seek something else. Anyway, so ignorance brings error. All have sought for the one from whom they have come forth. All have been within him, the illegitimable, the inconceivable, who is beyond all thought. And there it is, very clearly, he cannot be known. So the fact that we are in ignorance is actually not so much a fault. You cannot know him. Yeah, but it is not all or nothing. That's the thing. It's not all or nothing. If I can't know all, then forget it. You can know something. That is the point of existence. And the longer, if you are in a cycle of existence, the more you exist, the more you can know. Yeah? These are periods by which you can know life, by which you can gain a knowledge. You are at school. You are at school. And the fact that you probably will never know it all. So what? It is, the joy of seeking itself, of finding knowledge. And then if it's endless, then that knowledge can last, that joy can last forever, if you want to call it that. But anyway, it is because of ignorance that it brings hurt, so. But still, the more enlightened you get to the knowledge of Him, the less hurt there will be. Yeah? So you're going toward better times if you keep going. Anyway, here, right. The one who's beyond all thought. But ignorance of the Father brought terror and fear, and terror grew dense like a fog, so that no one could see. Thus error grew powerful. She worked on her material substance in vain. Since she did not know the truth, she assumed a fashioned figure and prepared with power and in beauty to substitute for truth. Now, ignorance is working on her form. That does not mean that enlightenment does not have a form. Yeah? It has nothing to do with the form. It doesn't. But she worked on her form to build something that would substitute for the truth. And to my mind, in this day and age right now, there were other substitutions, if you know what you're looking for, in other ages. But here, the substitute is technology. That is the substitute for the truth that ignorance is working. Yeah? I mean, it is the rational mind that is doing it. But as I said, it creates technology, which is a substitute for the truth, for knowing Him. At least in this life, in the part that you are, which is as far you can be filled with the knowledge, but you're only a limited vessel. But again, you can come back, have another vessel, take another bite of the apple of knowledge of good and bad, because here it is ignorance of the truth that creates bad. Folks, it's a hard school. It hurts when you get it wrong. But this is how you learn here. And you can learn here. Here is where you can get knowledge. Anyway, so she fashioned figure and prepared with power and in beauty to a substitute for truth. This was not humiliating for the illegitimatable, unconceivable one. For this terror and forgetfulness and this deceptive figure were as nothing, whereas established truth is unchanging, unperturbed, and beyond all beauty. Here we go again. The Creator does not change. There is no movement. He's unchanging. He's all possibilities. He is the law. And it will never change. And He is not moved by that, by what we are doing. Anyway, for this reason, despised error. Error has no root. She was in a fog regarding the Father. She was there preparing works and deeds of forgetfulness and fear, in order by them to attract those of the middle and take them captive. The forgetfulness of error was not apparent. It was not, and there is a bit missing, from the Father. Forgetfulness did not come into being from the Father, but it did come into being because of Him. What comes into being within Him is knowledge, which appeared so that forgetfulness might be destroyed and the Father might be known. Forgetfulness came into being because the Father was not known. So as soon as the Father comes to be known, forgetfulness will cease to be. So that is what the Gnostics thought. and the Hermetics too. It was actually a knowledge of the field. Yeah? And again, they knew that by observation here. They knew about cause and effect, and that there is a law. Yeah? And as I said, by going wrong, you know him as much as by going right. It's both a lesson that you can learn that will bring to you a knowledge of the Creator. I mean, that is what we're doing. Now, what religion does, and there is the big difference. Religion seeks a knowledge, but it does not seek a knowledge of the Creator, but of another being that is then worshipped as a god. But again, that other being is only a part. Yeah? And by believing on the God of the Bible, you are actually taken away from the knowledge of the Creator, because you worship a being. And the Creator is not there to be worshipped. He wants to be known. Yeah, you're interacting with him in order to get knowledge of him. That is what you're doing. It's got nothing to do with worship. And it's got nothing to do with, and here comes, if you go around and things go wrong and you are on your knees begging, and you're saying, why is God doing this to me? Yeah? And that is where you have completely the wrong perception of what's happening. The Creator does nothing. He's unchanging, he is still. There is no movement there. You are the one that is doing the doing. You are the one that is movement. Yeah? Whatever is created, you are creating it. Good and bad. See, that this is what this is. You are in the knowledge of in the tree of knowledge of good and bad. You are in that duality. But it is out of your own ignorance that the duality is created. And the only way is to learn more and more to dispel the darkness, the ignorance. Then the hurt will go away, because you're the one that's doing it. But that's a completely wrong, different perception. It's not we are nothing and we need to wait for something to come and save us, or something to do it all for us. God will come and he will wipe all our tears and he will do it all for us. Then you remain in ignorance forever if you allow that to happen. Because you will never think for yourself, you will never find out for yourself. You're taking the knowledge of something else and making it your own. But that way you will never know. As I said, to me, the rational mind, life itself, the tree of knowledge of good and bad, is actually what's throwing up the questions to start with. Yeah, this is where you are being given the questions through life. The rational mind is the seeker. It's that which wants to understand, which wants to know. But in order to receive the answer, the seeker has to step out of the way. It has to be still. I don't know if it can ever be as still as the Creator himself, but it should be still to some amount. And as I said, in this world, this interaction of movement and stillness is already here naturally. Should we go further than that and what we were given? Or is this the way? Ask questions, have a good night's sleep, and wake up enlightened. I mean, it sounds silly, but it was created for a purpose. And it's any time that we enhance this thing through forcing ourselves into a stillness that is beyond natural, do we actually gain more through that? I don't think we do. And drugs, most certainly not. They would throw you out into infinity and beyond. And now, one last thing I want to say. Oh, that is probably the problem with agnostic teachings. And that is the Blinken language. The esoteric language, the code language. It's code. Yeah? Why they did that? Well, I mean, they were persecuted. Yeah, maybe so that nobody could take the text and hold it against it. It was in plain language. Maybe that, or maybe they were of, elitist thinking, only the few should understand this. I don't know. But it creates a problem. For instance, if it talks about archons, yeah, which is actually the rulers, yeah, and now people are going around looking for archons, and again, they're looking out there, yeah. But again, we are talking knowledge on the level of spirit. It is something that has the perception of itself that it is a ruler, that it was created to rule over everything. Yeah, so archons are the perception of the rulers. Elohim is the desire to have dominion over worlds. But that is spirit. Yeah, and that spirit can be in a being. In any being. It can be there temporarily because we need to overcome sometimes problems. So the intention to rule over something or to have dominion over a problem can be in us temporarily. It can fill a being and just be there all the time, in which case the being becomes the embodiment of that spirit. So archons are the rulers, those that want to rule. Yeah, and then you are being sent out into another dimension looking for them, and you don't see the archons in this world, because there are plenty that are possessed by that spirit. And then my question is, really, should we deal with the spiritual in this world, because it exists in this world? Yeah? Deal with the archons instead of trying to fix other dimensions, even if you could. And the other thing is, whilst you are busy in the spirit trying to fix other dimensions, this world is going to hell around you. The archons are winning because you're looking for them somewhere else. And you don't spend your energy in this world where it's actually happening. As I said, or you are on the salvation trip, on the Messiah trip. We are in the Messianic age. All we have to do now is sit on our ass and wait for somebody to come and do it for us. All of that takes you away from the truth. The truth is within you. You are that which interacts. Yeah? The archons are all around you. They're not in another dimension. It is spirit. Yeah? And that could be a human being, that could be a reptilian, I don't know what's out there. But let's say like this, a human being can be an archon and it can be something else, so can a reptilian. By the form you cannot tell, and if you cannot see the spirit, you don't know what you're looking at. So, yes, I think we need to go back to the Gnostic way of thinking. What we're seeking is the Creator Himself. Not some God, not some heaven, but the Creator Himself. A knowledge of Him. We cannot know it all, but, if we see the truth of ourselves to start with, that we don't know it all. In fact, we are as unenlightened at the moment as we can get. I think we are in deep darkness and ignorance. But that's the starting point from which you seek the light. And then see it in this world. You do not have to go anywhere else. Everything is Creator. It's here, it's in you, it's all around you. And let's start sorting this mess out and bring this humanity to some point of enlightenment. Anyway, here, I leave it at that for today. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.